Welcome everyone and good morning. So we have waited till 11 minutes. So now we can start. Now, so since this is the first class for this batch, okay, for the December weekend batch. So what we are going to do today is I will tell you about what is the course content of this batch, okay, and how we are going to cover all the topics, okay, that is there for the certifications and all. And then we will also start with the first topic of the day. Okay. So let me start with introduction of myself. My name is Rohan and I carry 11 years plus in the network security field. And I have worked with uh, all the businesses across the world. Okay. And I do still carry the working experience with reference to several product-based companies. Okay. And what I bring on the table is the knowledge with reference to the corporate world, as in what are the real challenge, problems, challenges that the customers face on day-to-day basis, and how we can help them to mitigate that problems. And all. Okay. Now, in this batch, we are going to strictly be focused with reference to the FortiGate firewall, which is a product of the Fortinet. And now, the thing is like the topics, the concepts, whatever we will be covering with reference to the FortiGate firewall, we will be learning in the two steps. First is we will try to establish the theory part, that is the concept. Okay. Once we have established that concept, then we will try to prove the same thing in the lab. Okay. So that we will verify that whatever we have learned. Okay. So is that exactly the way how we also see in the lab based upon the logs, debugs, packet captures and all. Okay. Now, let me quickly show you what are the content that we are going to cover with reference to the FortiGate firewall. Okay. So see here. So this batch will be covering the topics with reference to the NSE 4 and 7 both. Okay. And okay. Now see here, the topics, right? If you will see the topics here with reference to NSE 4, this is NSE 4 topic. Sorry. So it starts with introduction of the product, right? And what are the basic configuration? That is what it starts with. Then we will cover the concept with reference to the security fabric. We will also cover the policies part, natting, okay, firewall at authentication in terms of administrative access. Okay, we will also see how you can integrate LDAP or radius or like single sign-on into your firewall. Okay, we will also see that. That is mostly going to be covered with reference to the security fabric concept. Okay, we will see how to log, how to read the logs, where to see the logs. Okay, how to read in like terms of the debugs, packet captures, and all. So we will also see that. Okay, how does the firewall make use of the certificate? Okay, why or how does the certificate helps the firewall to ensure security into your network? Okay, so we will see all the aspects of the certificate. Then these are your UTM features. Okay. Apart from these, we will also cover the IPS, IPS, and your file filter, video filter. So these UTM features will also be covered along with the one which you'll see in the list in here. Okay. In terms of the VPN, we are going to cover the SSL VPN as well as IPsec, site to site. Okay. And in routing, we are going to cover static, PBR, OSPF, and BGP. These things will be covered in the routing section. Okay. We will also cover the SD-WAN, the concept of the VDOM. This is cluster. We will try to understand what is cluster, how does it work, how we will be able to troubleshoot the cluster. Okay. The proxy behavior of your firewall, and diagnostic means basic troubleshooting. So how you can do the basic troubleshooting of your firewall and all. So that thing also is covered in the NSE 4. Now, if I quickly show you the content of the NSE 7, see here, most of the topics in the NSE 7 is exactly same as the NSE 4. Security fabric, architecture, which is like part of the basic introduction of the firewall. Okay, traffic and session monitoring, that is logging part, routing, high availability OSPF, BGP, web field. These are the UTM features, right? These are UTM. You have IPsec VPN. This is a new one, AD VPN and SD1, right? So most of the things are covered in the NSE4 itself, right? So now the question is, then what is the difference between NSE4 and 7? So the difference is with reference to the knowledge, meaning, let's say if I have to tell you the details with reference to the NSE4, then let's say I'm like, if I'm telling you about the web filtering, right? So I will only tell you, okay, hey, what is web filter and how you can set up the web filter on the firewall. That is the information with reference to NSE4. If in case you come across a problem for the web filter, what are the basic checks that you can do? Okay, so that is what is needed for the NSE4. Whereas if I am teaching the same topic in terms of NSE7, then including those that what is web filter, yes, is there something? Okay. So apart from that, I also have to tell you how does they work. That means we will have to get an insight backend functioning of these processes. So web filter is helping me to control the web traffic, right? But how? How does the firewall know that this traffic belongs to a certain specific web, right? And how does it take an action onto it? What it is looking inside the packet? Okay. So what is going behind the scene knowledge? So that is included in the NSE 7. So NSE 7 knowledge requires you to go in depth of your firewall functioning. Okay, so this is why we have clubbed this course in order to make sure that whatever topic we are going to start, we will start it from the basic and we'll touch it till the top. Okay, while we will have a half big knowledge, right? So if I'm starting to teach the web filter, then we will start from basics. We will see how does it function, configuration part, deployment, and everything, as well as the troubleshooting aspect of each and every topic. Okay. So that is all about the NSE 4 and 7. Now, let me clear one more pointer. We also have a common doubt that now there is no NSE 4 and 7, right? There is no NSE 4 and 7. So the certificates has been changed, right? So let me show you one thing. See here. Now, if I show you, now see, there are these certifications now, right? Fortinet Certified Expert, Fortinet Certified Solution Specialist, right? And there is one more, which is Fortinet Certified Professional. Okay. Now, let me go to, we are trying to learn here network security, right? So if I click on learn more, so see here what happens. What we need it in order to get this certification. If we want to have an FCSS certified for network security domain, so what we need? So see, we need to clear 2 examinations. The core examination, that means this is a mandatory examination. What is that? NSE 7 and Enterprise Firewall, right? Yes or no? So you need an NSE 7 certification. You still have to clear NSE 7 for the firewall. So now it's a myth that okay, hey, there is no NSE 7 and 4. But that is not true. It is still there. So you have to clear NSE 7 for the firewall, and then you can clear any one of this exam. Anyone. Okay. So like here it is written that one of the elective exam, right? So you can clear SD-WAN or LAN Edge or any other certification for that matter. Okay. Now, similarly, if I show you for the certified professional, and these are basics. Okay. Anyone can clear these fundamentals and all. These are basics. But see the professional one also. Here also what you need is FortiGate administrator. This is exactly NSE 4. Now let me show you the topic contents of these certifications. See here, FortiGate administrator, right? See the exam description. You see this? What are the topics that is covered here? Initial configuration, performance and initial configuration, right? Your security fabric concept, cluster, yes or no? Right? Firewall policies and authentications, that is NATing, firewall policies and all kinds of firewall administrative authentication methods and all, right? Inspection means UTM features, web filtering, how to make use of the certificates, right? Your antivirus, IPS, routing, static routes and all those, as SD-WAN concept is also there. VPN, SSL VPN and the IPsec VPN, right? So these are the topics with reference to NSE 4. Let's see what is in the NSE 7. The same system configuration where we are going to understand the security fabric concepts and all. But here you see it requires you to know about the hardware level knowledge also. Okay, clustering concept, administrative management of your firewall. Okay, security profiles, that means your UTM features, FortiGuard server concept. Okay, the IPS and all, everything is covered. OSPF, BGP, IPsec, IKE version 2 VPNs also, and you have AD VPN, right? And if you combine these two topics, so that is what I was showing you in my slide as well. That these are the topics what we are going to cover in the NSE 4 and 7 course. So clear with the agenda of the batch. Okay, why I'm saying that if it's like in this batch at the end, you will be able to crack NSE 4 and 7 examination. Okay. Any doubts till this point? Or any question?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
There is no 40 token is taught here.
Forti token is not a concept, or it is not a feature that needs to be taught. Okay, Forti token is just you can say it is just used to assign to a user in order to get a random OTP kind of
Correct.
generated, right?
Yeah.
So there is nothing to teach about the Forti token. The only thing you have to know is where you can use that. Okay, so those things will be covered when we will learn about the manageability of your firewall.
It will be covered, right?
Yes.
Token. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other question?
And as a security fabric also, like I saw your recordings, there is no security fabric is taught.
No, security fabric is a feature. Okay, that's a feature that is inbuilt in the FortiGate firewall. Okay, so security fabric, we will, it's like I will like show you what all you can do in this security fabric. Okay, like for an example, you will be doing an automation of the alerts, emails. That is
Yeah.
something what you can do. You can help you can use this security fabric to integrate to any other devices, whether it is a same vendor product or it's a third party product. Okay, so it is mostly a theory kind of a thing. Okay, you just have to fill in the blanks. That's all.
Okay, let's see. Okay.
Uh,
I will-
So those things I will like show you. Okay, what is that? How to make use of it. Okay, and let me tell you one more thing. When it comes to security fabric, there is no troubleshooting as such that you have to do because it's a very simplified function. Okay, which simply needs only one thing, that you give the firewall the reachability to that device. That's all. So if I'm able to reach to my 40 manager, let's say for an example, so my firewall can simply establish the connection with that device. Okay. So at best, if like something goes wrong, what you have to troubleshoot is connectivity. That is my firewall able to reach to that FMG or not? Okay, that's all. Nothing else. You will do the troubleshooting on the firewall side. Clear? And when I'm going to show you all that, now these things will make sense to you. Fine. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Okay then. Now see, so like I mentioned before also, and let me repeat that. So my way of going in this batch is to focus more on the core concept rather than configuration. Okay. You are not here to learn the configuration, and it's of no use at all, to be honest. Okay. It's waste of your time. You do a Google search and you will get the configuration. Let me tell you what I'm trying to say. See here. You want to configure, let's say for an example, IPsec VPN, right? IPsec VPN in FortiGate configuration. Do a Google search, configure the IPsec VPN, right? Whatever product for the version softwares you want, you can just check onto it and you can go and like see those configurations. Let me show you for the latest one of the latest. See, you want to build what? Site-to-site IPsec VPN, click onto that. See, it will show you how to build up the configuration. Okay. FortiGate or FortiGate to any third party, whatever you want. Let's say I'm going with FortiGate to FortiGate, IPsec VPN. Okay. Click onto it, it will show you. Got it? So it will exactly tell you how you can have the VPN configured based upon the password, based upon the certificate or overlapped subnets, whatever you want. Okay, there is all the configurations are written. See, do you see that? Step by step, what you have to do with reference to GUI as well as with reference to command line, both are written. So if anyone is having a mindset that, okay, hey, I will learn the configuration in here, no. Of course, I will do each and every lab by myself. I will do everything. I will show the configuration, we will build the lab, how we will do all these configurations and all. But I don't want anyone to have focus on learning the configuration. Do not do that. Your entire focus must be in learning the concept. How does a VPN work? What is going behind the scene? If a VPN is flapping, there can be 20 plus reasons why a VPN went down, right? How would I know which one caused my problem? Okay, so that is something what I want to give you all, the power to troubleshoot. And in order to troubleshoot any problem, your basic must be very clear. You must have a very strong hold on to your basic concepts. And that because that is what will help you to analyze the packets. That is what will help you to narrow down the problem. Okay. Else, if you are only focused on to the configuration, you may be able to set up the VPN, but if something goes wrong, you will have no idea where to start troubleshooting from. Okay. So in my batch, my focus is on troubleshooting completely. Clear? Okay. But I'm not saying that I will not tell you about the configurations or something like that. No, I will tell you because of course we have to do the labs and all, but we will try to more focus on the troubleshooting part rather than on any other aspect. Okay. Now, next thing, talking about the lab, see here, when you enroll into the course, everyone will receive a respective login username and password. Okay. What you have to use in order to log in onto the lab. So when you will log in there, so you will see something like this one. Okay. Where one is basic lab. If you will click on open, this is my basic lab. Okay. My lab is very simple. I do not design a complex lab. This is a PC, Cisco router, my FortiGate firewall, and this is the internet. So PC is trying to go to internet through the firewall. That's all. That's my lab. Okay. You will not find any complex design in my lab. Never. Because the focus, like I've said, is to build the core concept. If I know how does a PC reaches the internet, so no matter how the complex design is, the process is same. Yes or no? Correct? The TCP three-way handshake or anything that goes on to the play for the certificates for the VPN or anything. Okay. Concept is exactly same. The whole thing is we should know how does the traffic work. So that's why my labs are very simple. And most of the labs I'm going to do on this lab only. But apart from this, I also have different labs for clustering. Okay, for cluster, I have a different lab. For OSPF, for BGP, I have a different labs. Okay, so there are different labs in here. Now, please note, if in case anyone is interested to have a different topology, you want that, okay, hey, I want to practice on a different design, okay, different lab structure. So you just have to show me your diagram, what you want, okay, so that I can create that lab for you. Okay, because if anyone wanted their own lab, like anything that they want to practice, I have done it before also. Okay, because you guys will not have the access to create the lab. You cannot create the lab. Okay, although you can do anything else, but you cannot create that means add or remove the devices. That is something which you cannot do. Okay, so if you want me to create your own custom lab, let me know your diagram. I will do it for you. Not a problem. Okay, so clear with the lab part? Any doubts with reference to the lab?
Oh.
No? Okay. Now, see here the
Sir, suppose I want to create a new lab. Suppose I have some topology in my mind. So if
uh-huh.
I tell you, so you can recreate it in the lab, right?
Yes. Yes,
Okay, fine, fine.
I can do that. Okay.
Okay, fine.
And there is no limitation. As many as you want me to create, I will create it for you. That's not a problem. Okay. Now, see here, the next thing with reference to the timing of the batch is this is going to be a weekend batch. That means we will start only the classes on Saturday and Sunday, ranging from 9 a.m. That is 9 a.m. IST. Okay. And the class will go for 3 to 4 hours. For today and tomorrow only, the class is going to be for 60 to 90 minutes. Okay. But from the next week, the class is going to range from 3 to 4 hours. Okay. Now, the pace of the class, how we will go, that is strictly dependent upon the batch learning method. If you want me to go on a rapid way, I will go in rapid. If you want me to go slowly, I will go slowly. Okay. So you guys will decide whether my way of teaching is little speed or I am like too slow, or you want me to go it's like how the pace of this batch is going to be, that is entirely up to you. Okay. I have my own way to teach. If you like that, well and good. But I'm open to any feedback. You say that, hey sir, you are like going too little fast for us. So please slow down. I will be slowing down. Okay. Or if you want that, okay, hey, you are too slow, please pick up some paces and all. I will pick up the pace. That's not a problem. Okay. Next point. The communication for this batch is strictly going to be English, because there are one or few people who would not be from or would not be proficient in Hindi or anything like that. Okay, I can speak Hindi and English, okay, fluency, but most of the communications or like all the communications will happen with reference to the English only. Okay. Second, if anything is not making sense to you, let's say I am telling you about a concept, or I'm like making certain statement and all, which is not making much sense to you. Okay. So in that case, you can stop me. You can ask me to repeat. You can ask me to repeat 1,000 times. I have no problem. The only thing is, whatever we are going to start, that must be understood by everyone. If a single student is having the problem, do not shy away thinking that, okay, no one is asking the question, so why I will disturb the class. Okay. Nothing. If a single student is not able to understand and he needs me to repeat 10 times, I am happy to do that, because we all have to learn through collectively, okay, together. So we have to cooperate with that. Okay. Someone can understand in a single attempt, someone can understand the same concept in twice or thrice or fourth time. So that's fine. Okay. Clear? But you have to ask me your questions. If you do not put your questions forward, I will assume that everything is going fine. Okay. Whatever I am teaching you or whatever I am telling you is all clear. So you guys have to make only a single effort to ask me your questions. That's all I ask. Nothing else. You do not have to prepare any notes. You do not have to worry to write down something that I am telling in the class. No need, because everything is recorded. Whatever I am saying right now also is getting recorded. So at the end of the class, every one of you will see the recorded video on your respective student portal. Okay. So you can always refer back to that video and make your own notes at your own time. But during the class, do not do that. Do not try to write something or make the notes or something like that. Do not. Have complete focus on learning what I'm saying. And please note, like I've mentioned, that I am someone who is a working professional. I'm not it's like a strict kind of a teacher or something. I'm not that. I'm just like you people. Okay. So whatever I say, whatever I talk is completely with reference to my knowledge, what I have garnered while working for several renowned companies. Okay. So I am going to give you the corporate level knowledge, what is actually needed in order to do our job, not those junks of theories which have no use in our role day to day activity. I'm not going to burden anyone with lot of theories or lot of concepts. No. Something which is not needed, something which is not used in our day-to-day job, there is no point of to learn that. Okay. So I will be filtering those junks out. But what really matters, what like really needs to be understood. Okay, those things I will be giving to you. Okay. I will be putting forward troubleshooting examples, the cases, what I have worked on, what my team has worked on. Okay. So if whenever I come across some unique case, unique problem that I have solved or like that I'm trying to solve or something, I always discuss that. But please note, I only do that if in case the batch is also showing some interest in learning the troubleshooting, because those extra efforts is not part of the curriculum of this batch, but I love to share those knowledge, but you also have to show me your interest. Okay, so like I've said, the only task that you have to do in my class is ask the questions. That's all, nothing else. Okay, we will try to brainstorm whatever is there. And last, before I start the topic for the day, last point, do not trust anything what I have not showed you in the lab. If I'm saying that, hey, this behaves in a certain way, and I have not showed you with reference to the logs or with reference to the supporting factors and all, do not trust it. Why you will trust my statement, right? And it's to be fair. Okay. I will only trust the concept or the things or the statements what I see by the device logs. So everything has to be proven at a point. Okay, so this is why I said we will first try to build the concept, then we will try to prove that concept in the lab. Clear as how we are going to learn? Any doubts before we start for the first topic of the day?
It's clear.
Okay then. Fine. So let's start for the first topic of the day then. I will not take much time. We will just learn for next 20-30 minutes, one small topic, and then we will continue further tomorrow. Okay. So the first topic is firewall architecture. See, why we need to learn the firewall architecture. When I say learn, that means having a basic idea how our device hardware is designed. Why? Why this is needed? See, let's say if your bike is broken, you woke up in the morning, you took your shower and you had your breakfast, and now you're trying to go to your office, you put the key inside the bike, you took the self, and the bike didn't start. So what you will do? If you have the knowledge of your bike, the basic knowledge, right? Then you may know, okay, hey, where is the spark plug? You will try to check the spark plug. Maybe you will check the batteries that, okay, hey, whether it is taking the spark or not, right? Or some fuels or something, right? You will check. Maybe there is some garbage in the carburetor, right? So those are basic troubleshooting, right? Because I know how does it work. How my bike design is simple, right? So the fuel is going in the carburetor, from the carburetor it is there. When I press the uh, self, then the battery is like giving a spark to the spark plug, and that is where the fuel is burning up and all, right? So these are the basic knowledge that I have. So at least I can do the basic troubleshooting, right? Cleaning the spark will help me to start the bike. Maybe I will just put my key inside the plus and minus option of the battery, and it will trigger the self. Maybe I will have to push my bike to start it, right? Those are basic things, correct? That's why you are able to troubleshoot that problem. But at a point, you will say, okay, hey, these things are not the problem, then something else is. That is where you look for the mechanic, right? Same thing is here also. You cannot troubleshoot any product if you do not know their hardware design. I'm not talking about a high level design, no, but the basic structure. I should know what happens. What does the firewall do? when it is getting a packet and when it sent it out, it would have done something, right? What did it do? I need to have those ideas. Then only if a customer is coming with a problem, I will have a fair amount of an thought that, okay, hey, where I have to start looking from. Okay, so this is why architecture of the firewall is important. So let's start with that. So let me draw a quick diagram of the firewall architecture. Sorry. Not this. Okay, so this cloud structure is your FortiGuard. These are the processes, AV process, IPS process, your IKE process, right? Or any other process, like for example, DNS process, whatever that process is. Okay. Now, this is your FortiOS, and this is your CPU or SPU, okay, or RAM or something you call it. So this box is actually your FortiGate firewall. Now I'm representing FortiGate firewall with the word FGT. Okay, that's the abbreviation that I'm going to use throughout the batch. Okay. Now, senior, what happens is actually your device, what does it do is your firewall has to be up to date, right? With reference to new viruses, new domains in the market, new applications in the market, new attacks in the market, right? So it has to be up to date. Now, who will help the firewall to get those latest signatures of viruses, attacks, new websites are in the market, right? So categorization of that or applications, okay, the rating of the websites or the IPs that whether this is a good website or bad. Okay, so who will tell the firewall all these things? Because the ratings or some things are such a variable which will keep on changing every time. Okay, sometimes a website who is having a bad reputation, maybe in a week he will have a good reputation. Okay, so FortiGuard is a cloud-based server. So think FortiGuard as a data center, okay, which is placed across the key locations throughout the world. Okay, so FortiGuard is a dedicated data center which is responsible to connect with all the licensed product of Fortinet. So whether you are having an Forti Manager, Forti Analyzer, Forti SIEM, Forti Web, Forti Auth, FortiGate Firewall, Forti Switch, Forti AP, whatever you might have. Okay, any product of the Fortinet. FortiGuard will establish the connection with your licensed firewall. And then it's the job of the FortiGuard to keep on pushing the new updates. Let me show you. FortiGuard. Come on, man. FortiGuard. FortiGuard Labs, right? See here, services. Let me take an example of web filtering. Let's check that. Now, do you see here these many, okay, malicious phishing spam URLs blocked by FortiGuard Labs? So till this point, till this moment, FortiGuard has been able to block these many websites or domains traffic which were malicious, which were spam. Got it? And approximately 500 million websites has been categorized. See how big the database is. For only, I'm just showing you only for the web domains, okay? Those google.com, yahoo.com, youtube.com. I'm talking about those things. So you will find almost all the websites that exist in the market or that exist over the internet to be part of our database. And if something is missing, you will get it in the next update. Now you can see here, just in last 24 minutes, there were 5 database push, right? Correct? Just 3 minutes ago, a new database was released, which was having 1 lakh modified URLs. So if something has to be modified or new domains is being identified or any has been modified or removed or something, it will change that and it will push it. Because every now and then, hundreds, thousands of websites are coming into play, right? Okay. So you do not have to worry. If I'm someone who is managing the FortiGate firewall, I do not have to worry because FortiGuard is taking care of all those things. So whatever is going on the ISP with reference to the domains, addition or removal or modification of the domains, IPs and all, those things will be collected and will be pushed to my firewall. So I will have the latest information on my firewall always. Okay. Now, how these informations are useful in order to set up the UTM features and all, that is something which is a far distant topic. But when we will touch the UTM concept, there we are going to see that how these databases are helpful. Okay. But for now, just know that FortiGuard is responsible to push all the latest and critical information to the firewall. Clear? And not only that, let's say someone sitting in North America received a virus for the first time, right? So if I am sitting in India, I don't have to worry. Why? Because my FortiGuard, once it identified that virus, he will immediately push that virus information, that is the signature of that, to the entire firewall that is deployed across the world. So my firewall will also receive that. So that if someone is trying to send me that new virus, my firewall will say, hey, stop, I know who you are, right? And he will discard that traffic. Clear? So that's called the cloud-based structured deployment. That is, here we call it FortiGuard. So every product has their own cloud-based data centers. Okay. In the Fortinet, we have FortiGuard. Somewhere else, you will see some Prisma. Somewhere else, you will have some other ZIA or like ZPA kind of an databases or the deployment servers. Okay. So everyone maintains their own cortex. Okay. Now, see, the thing is, your firewall has 3 major components in the functioning of the devices. Okay. It is just like your laptop. Now, to understand this, let me take an example. Let's say I have bought a new laptop. Okay, new laptop I have bought, which has nothing. It's a complete clean laptop. Okay. No operating system, nothing at all. It's just brand new. Now, if I ask you to install a software onto it, software like VLC Media Player, or maybe I'm asking you to install Google Chrome, okay, will you be able to install software onto your laptop? That's brand new laptop, which has nothing into it. No, no. Why? Because in order to install the software, you need what? Operating system. You must install Windows or Linux or something, some type of OS onto your machine. Then only you can install any software over it. Yes or no? Why? Because when you install a software, actually what happens is, see, whenever you install a software now, actually what happens is a certain process is installed, right? Google Chrome has a dedicated process for itself. And that process is making use of CPU, memory, or the disk space, right? Correct? For everything, there is a process. And for everything, right? That process is going on behind the scene. Clear? For the audio, for the Zoom, whatever, Zulu and all, whatever you I'm doing, I'm like sharing the screen to you. See, that process, which is responsible to allow me to share my content of the screen, is running behind the scene. And it is making use of 5.8% or 9%, 8%. You can see the CPU resource, right? Memory, how much he is using. Correct? So the point is the processes cannot execute themselves in order to make use of CPU and memory resources. But since the processes require CPU and memory resource to execute their task, hence they are dependent on operating system. So this is what I have pointed out, that the processes are interacting with whom? Operating system. In the FortiGate firewall, we call that operating system as FortiOS. Please note, the software up to 6.2 is outdated, out of support. Okay, so the latest software that you can support is 6.4, 7.0, 7.2, and 7.4. These are the software
And
versions.
7.6 also came.
Now they have released 7.6, latest. Okay, so these things are still in support. So you can use any of these operating system depending upon your requirement. Clear? Now, please note, your operating system helps the processes to interact with CPU or the memory. So this is why you will see, like I have pointed out the arrows, that the OS is interacting with CPU and memory. And then it is helping the processes to make use of it. So it's that simple. That is what it is. A basic hardware structure of the firewall. Okay. Now, see, when the firewall receives a packet, right? And the firewall has processed the packets and all, and he sent it out. The packet has been sent out. So the firewall would have done something, right? He would have done something in between, right? Correct now. So what did he do? So that concept is called life of packet. Clear? So when your firewall, and this is very important because I will be using this life of packet concept throughout the batch. Okay. So that's my guarantee that you will have this concept by heart. Okay, because the number of times I will use this, you will have it by heart. So there is a firewall, it got a packet and it sent it out. So what did he do? What did he do? So the span or the time frame till the packet was inside the firewall being processed, that is called life of packet. Clear? So let's see what does the firewall do. I will give you a basic overview. How does the firewall processes the traffic and why this is important. This will help you to configure the firewall. This will help you to troubleshoot the problem on the firewall. Okay. So let's start with that. Life of packet in the firewall, right? See, when a traffic is received on the firewall, the traffic is received on where? On the ingress interface. On the interface, na? Since I am getting a incoming packet, so I'm calling that interface as ingress. Ingress means incoming interface. Clear? So the packet is sent where? It is stored in the buffer of the interface. Buffer. So from there, what is happening? So at the buffer level, what will happen is the firewall will perform integrity check. What it will do? Integrity check of the packet. Now, what is integrity check? See, take this as an example. Let's say you have ordered something, right? From Amazon, from Flipkart, or from eBay, or from wherever you have ordered. Now, the parcel guy has come to your place. He has rang the doorbell and he's saying, "Hey, sir, this is your parcel." And when you received the parcel, you saw that the parcel is opened. The seal is broken of that parcel. Will you receive? Will you accept that parcel? No, no. You will like verify into it. Hey, maybe something is broken or something has been tampered or someone has changed something, whatever, right? You will verify. Correct? You went to a shop to buy some medicine, okay? And you see that the seal of the bottle is broken. Will you buy that? No. Why? Because since the seal is broken, you know that someone would have altered something, right? I'm not sure. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm not sure. Correct? The same goes with the packets also. When any device, and it is not only with the firewall, okay? I'm talking in general for any network device, whether it is a router, switch, or whatever, okay? SD-WAN, firewall, whatever uh, device that exists in the network. They all, whenever they receive the packet, they perform integrity check to verify and confirm, establish that the content or the integrity of the packet is not compromised. And how do they do that? Any guess? Guys, any guess how it will do that?
Source, so it will check the source IP, destination IP.
No, 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 no. I can, let's say I have sent a packet with the source 10.1, destination 20.1. And
Hmm.
you have modified the packet with the source 30.1. So how would the receiver know that what was the actual source? Got it?
Yeah.
So source IP and destination IP will not play a role. It is all about checksum values. Please note every header. Now let's talk about some basics. I think everyone knows about the OSI model, right?
Yes.
Layer 6, layer 5, layer 4, 3, 2, 1, right? Fine. So let's start with layer 4. What is the major protocol of layer 4?
TCP, UDP,
TCP.
TCP.
Let's open TCP header. Let's see. What you are seeing here? Do you see a checksum value? Checksum field in the TCP?
Yes.
So this variable or this field in the TCP header is there to confirm the integrity of the TCP header. Clear? So if you modify anything here, the checksum will not match. So when I will receive the packet, I will calculate the checksum of the received TCP header that is inside the packet. and I will compare it with the checksum value that is received. And if that value is same, I know that, okay, no one has changed anything. But if it is not matching, I know someone has modified the content. Hence, I will drop the packet. Clear? Okay. Let's talk about UDP. See, in the UDP also, you will find that checksum. Do you see this checksum here filled? UDP checksum. See that? Correct?
Yes.
Now, what is the major protocol of layer 3?
IP.
IP header. Yes.
IP header.
See, in the IP header, if I show you that, there is a checksum value, header checksum. Do you see this? Correct? So using that, I can verify the IP header. What is the layer 2?
Frame.
Ethernet.
Ethernet. Okay.
Ethernet. See, in the Ethernet also, you have a CRC checksum. Do you see that? Frame check sequence, CRC. Okay, so this field will verify or establish the integrity of the layer 2 header. So got my point, what I was saying. Integrity check. Clear? And please note here, it also check the certain RFC standards of what? That how a packet should look like. For example, what do I mean by that when I say a certain RFC standard packets? See, let's say I'm getting a packet like this, that the source IP is 10.1. This is the source IP and destination IP is 10.1. Source and destination IP is same. Do you think this is a legitimate traffic?
No, actually, when you are doing gracious ARP or something,
No, there also you will not see 10.1 and 10.1.
gracious ARP is nothing but to find this duplicate IP, right?
The gracious ARP also will not have source IP and destination IP 10.1.
Okay.
Okay, so we will talk about the gracious ARP when I will touch the cluster topic. Okay, so wait till that point. But see, if the firewall is getting such a traffic, he will drop it. Why? He will say the packet structure is not as per the standard. Clear? Okay. So those basics concepts are also being checked. That am I getting the packet as per the permissible structure or not? Okay. So all these things happens on the integrity check. And if the packet is clear, let's say the firewall found out that, okay, hey, the integrity is good. No one has modified the content and the structure is looking absolutely as it should be, as per the RFC standards. Then he will perform next step. What is that next step? Just a moment, I think I need some more space. So here, let me go. Okay. So he will perform the next step. Next step means captive authentication. What is captive authentication? Let me tell you just the basics of it, because there is a separate lab what we will do in the captive. Okay, when we will touch the basic configuration of the firewall, there I will do the lab for it. Okay, where we will see that in action. But for now, let me tell you what is the captive authentication. You might have walked into airport, maybe some cafes, maybe some clubs, or maybe at a certain hotels or something, where you get a free Wi-Fi, right? There is a free Wi-Fi zone or something like that, right? Okay. So when you establish the connection with that free Wi-Fi, are you able to start using, like, is it allowed that, okay, hey, I have established the connection with the Wi-Fi and I can use now the ISP? Can I do that? Access the Google or YouTube or something? No, no. Whenever you try to do it, what happens? It asks for authentication. That, okay, hey, enter your phone number or something like that. You will receive a OTP message. When you will put into that, then you are successfully connected to that Wi-Fi, right? That is called captive authentication. Captive authentication is simply saying, hey, stop. First, tell me who you are. And if you have successfully authenticated yourself, then only I will allow you to go through my device. Else, stop, drop. Clear? So that is called captive authentication. Please note, captive authentication is happening at the interface level. Which interface? Incoming interface, not the outgoing. If you apply the captive authentication on the outgoing, it has no use, because that will only trigger when the packet is received on that interface. Okay, so in short, captive authentication is simply saying, hey, stop, tell me who you are. If you successfully have entered the username and password, and if that is matching as per the configured database, then I will say yes, authentication is successful, and now we can proceed for the next step. Else, drop. Please note, captive authentication is an optional configuration. If you want to configure it, then it will take action. If you have not configured it, it will not take action. So captive authentication is optional. Now, let's say the captive authentication is pass. Okay, then what? Then your firewall will check for DNAT. DNAT means he will check, do I have an existing rule which wants me to modify the destination IP or the destination port? If yes, then he will change the destination IP or the destination port. If there is no rule matching the incoming traffic, then he will bypass this step. Okay. Now, how does the DNAT work and functions and all? We are going to
Hello,
learn.
sir.
Yes,
Sorry.
please.
Yes, sir. आपने captive authentication, you had thought that one part. Sir, before the before the enter any password anything, that captive authentication मतलब उनसे पहले तो उसको IP मिल जाएगा कि
IP मिल जाएगा
हाँ
किसको?
मतलब यूजर को
नहीं,
मतलब आपने एग्जांपल दिया कैफे वगैरह वहां पे हम जाते हैं तो कनेक्ट करते हैं तो हमको पहले आईपी मिल जाता है उसके बाद हम ऑथेंटिकेशन का पार्ट हम स्टार्ट करते हैं कि
ओके।
ऑथेंटिकेशन का पार्ट के बाद आईपी मिलता है सर।
देखो, कोई चीज समझो, आईपी मिलने का प्रोसेस है वो डीएससीपी, राइट?
ठीक है सर।
डीएससीपी आपको आईपी दे रहा है,
नहीं
लेकिन
आईपी मिलने के बाद ना मेरा जो ऑथेंटिकेशन का पार्ट उसके बाद नहीं स्टार्ट होता है कि उससे
हाँ
पहले।
हाँ, नहीं देखो, बिना आईपी का तो तुम कोई पैकेट भेज ही नहीं सकते ना।
ओके ओके सर।
तब तक तुम्हें आईपी नहीं नहीं अगर मिलेगा, तुम्हारा सोर्स आईपी कहाँ से आएगा? तो तुम्हारा तो पैकेट कभी डिवाइस जनरेट करेगा ही नहीं।
ओके ओके सर मतलब वो डीएससीपी से आईपी मिल जाएगा दैन कॉपी मतलब उसके बाद
हाँ
ये कैप्टिव। ओके सर थैंक
हाँ,
यू सर
तब
थैंक यू
जब
थैंक
तुम
सर।
पैकेट भेजोगे कि भाई मुझे जाना है गूगल, ओके,
ओके सर।
तब वो फायरवॉल कहेगा कि ठीक है, तुम इससे पहले गूगल जाओ, तुम पहले मुझे बताओ कि तुम हो कौन।
ओके ओके सर ओके सर ओके सर।
Here, okay. See, the question what he asked is that when we try to establish the connection with the free Wi-Fi's and all, so our device gets the IP first, right? It's like an IP is assigned to our device. So his concern was that since I'm getting the IP, so does it mean that the captive authentication happens after that? Okay. So what I answered to him is that, see, the process to assign an IP is taken care by the DSCP. Okay. Until your device does not get the source IP, that is, it's like your own IP, your device will never generate a packet, right? It cannot create a packet because in that packet he has to mention source IP. Got it? So he will learn the IP from the DSCP. Okay, and then when he will generate the packet saying, okay, hey, I want to go to Google, okay, and like this is my source IP and the destination IP is the Google IP. So at that point, the firewall will receive the packet. He will say, okay, the packet is good, I have checked the integrity. Then he will ask, okay, hey, before I start processing you, tell me who you are. So then the captive portal will come into place. So although you have got an IP assigned, it does not mean that you will be allowed to go through the device until unless you have authenticated yourself. Clear? Okay. Now, see here. So after the captive authentication, what happens is firewall will check for DNAT. Okay, DNAT means he will check, does I have, it's like, do I have any rule which is matching with reference to the received packet where I have to change the destination IP or the destination port? If yes, then the translation will happen first for the destination IP or the destination port. Okay. If there is no DNAT rule matching, then it will simply skip this step. But please note, we will have a different class for the natting session. Okay. That is going to be a 2 to 3 hours class where we will talk about the natting in depth. Okay. So do not worry onto that part. But for now, just know that it will simply perform the DNAT check. If there is a DNAT rule, it will do the DNAT action. If there is no DNAT rule, it will not perform the DNAT. Then after DNAT, what will happen? Then the device will do RPF and routing lookup. Now, what is RPF? What is this, right? So let's talk about this in a little. See here, what does it mean? Dekho. When there is a packet, when there is a packet, there are two things. One is source IP, another is destination IP. So please note, when you perform the routing lookup, when you are performing routing lookup for destination IP, then this is called forward lookup. We call this as forward lookup. Why? Because you will send the packet in forward direction, right? Like in this. Got it? So that's why we call it forward lookup. But when you perform the routing lookup for the source, if you are doing the routing lookup for the source IP, then such routing lookup is called reverse lookup. Why? See, if I'm sending this packet now, let's say I'm sending the packet with the source 10.1 and destination 20.1, right? So I did a routing lookup for 20.1. So I know, okay, hey, it has to be sent out via, let's say, port 3. So the packet will be sent out. Let's say this is FortiGate 1, which has port 3 here, and this is port 1. Okay. So it will send the packet out in forward direction. But when there is a reply traffic, the reply will have what? 20.1 and 10.1. Just the reverse. So what was source here? That is destination. Correct. So when this packet is coming, when I will do the routing lookup for 10.1, right? So I will know, okay, hey, the packet has to be sent out via port 1, correct? And that is where the packet will be sent in this direction. So this is why we are saying that if the routing lookup is done for the source IP, actually you are doing a reverse lookup. That means how to handle reply packet. Make sense? What is forward lookup and reverse lookup? Guys? Okay, I will take that as yes. Now, see. So here RPF check means
Sir, reverse lookup means like reply packet lookup, right? What are
reverse lookup means you are doing the routing lookup for the source IP. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Suppose a source IP and destination IP is there. Forward IP means it will look for it will look for a destination IP. Correct.
Forward lookup means.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where to go? Yes, correct. Reply means from where to from where it came. You are giving the reply. Got it.
Yes. Okay. Now see, what is RPF check? Why is the device, my firewall is doing RPF check? Please note, RPF check, that is called reverse path forward check, helps to stop or mitigate spoof attack. It will help you to stop spoof attack. How? Let me give you an example. Okay. See, I am working in office and I got late, okay, because I'm stuck in some work and all. So what I did is I ordered a pizza. Okay, I was feeling hungry. So I ordered a pizza. So the pizza guy came and he called me. He said, "Hey Rohan, I have got your parcel." Okay. So I told him, okay, fine, I am on my way. Okay. And you just, it's like, where are you? So he said that I am standing in at your gate number 3 of the IT park. Okay. So I said, okay, fine. You wait at gate number 3. I will be there. Okay. And I dropped the call and I am just going through my lift and all. Okay. Now, in meanwhile, while that delivery person was waiting at gate number 3, someone from gate number 2, okay, sorry for that. Okay, so now see, so what I was saying was that agent who is waiting at gate number 3, right? And someone walked from gate number 2 and he said, okay, hey, I think that parcel is for me. So what do you think? Will that agent give him that parcel? No, no. Because he just talked to me and I said that please wait on gate number 3, right? I will come there. Correct? So you might have noticed whenever you go to take the parcel, they will always ask, okay, hey sir, what was your parcel, right? They will confirm the order or they will ask your name. Why? Because they want to reassert the fact that yes, I'm giving the parcel to the right person, right? Correct? So that's the same logic applies with the RPF. See, whenever there is a device now, whatever the device is there, a router or the firewall, let's take a router, okay, which has 4 interfaces, port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. So you will have a routing table, right? There will be a routing table of that router. Let's say there is a routing table which says that there is a default route that if anyone has to go, it will go via port 3. There is another static route which says that 192.168.1.0/24 is reachable via port 1, let's say, okay. There is another static route which says 192.168.3.0/24 is reachable via port 2. And there's one more static route which says that 10.10.10.0/24 network is reachable via port 4. This is the routing table that you have. Okay. Now what happened is there was a packet. Okay. That was coming from the source IP 192.168.3.10, destination 8.8.8.8. This was the packet which was coming on the port 1. Now what will happen? The firewall will do RPF check. RPF check means he will do the routing lookup for source IP. Right? He will do reverse lookup. First, always. Now, when he will do that, what he will find? That 3.10 is matching with which route? This one, na? Correct? And as per this routing entry, the packet must be sent out via port 2. That means he knows that 3.0 network is behind port 2, na? Correct? So router will have a doubt, na? That if this IP is behind port 2, then how come I am getting a traffic from 3.10 on port 1? Makes sense? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? As per the routing entry, 192.168.3.0/24 network is behind port 2. If that is true, then the packet coming from 3.10 source must be received on the port 2. Why it will come on the port 1? Clear? And when the firewall or the router will see this, he will drop the packet saying RPF check failed. Clear? Clear? So that is what is done in the RPF check. Now, if the RPF check is passed, then it will perform routing lookup for the destination, that is forward lookup, to see do I have a route to decide that how I can reach to that destination. If yes, then he will send the packet accordingly. If no, the packet will be dropped saying I don't have any route. Okay. Now after this, what happens? After the routing lookup and all, what happens? The firewall will perform policy lookup. Firewall is going to perform policy lookup. Policy lookup means they will check, do I have a policy which is matching with the received traffic? If yes, then what is the action? Is it allow or deny? So if the action is allow, he will allow the traffic. If the action is deny, he will drop the traffic. Okay. Now, how does a traffic is said to be matching with a policy? That is something which we will learn when I will do the basic configuration of firewall. Okay. There I will tell you how does it match and all. But for now, just know that policy is mandatory. Without the policy, if there is no match in the policy, it will deny the traffic. Okay. Let's say we have a policy which says action allow. Hence, the next step, what it will do is it will perform NGFW action and UTM features. That is what it will do. NGFW means inspection. It will perform inspection, as well as if in case you have applied the UTM features like antivirus, IPS, web filter, DNS filter, application control, file filter, all the video filter, whatever you might have applied, that will take into effect. So if the inspection and the UTM is saying, okay, hey, the traffic is good, and as per the configuration, it should be allowed, then it will allow it. If you say it should be dropped, it will drop it. Okay, please note, NGFW and UTM action is optional. If you have applied that, then only this will work. If you have not configured it, it will not work. Okay. Now let's say UTM says everything is good. Then what? Then it will perform SNAT. Then the firewall will perform SNAT. Clear? SNAT action means it will check, do I have a SNAT rule which says me to translate the source IP or the source port? If yes, then he will translate. If no, he will not do it. He will simply bypass this step. Okay. After the SNAT, what happens? What will the firewall do? It will perform traffic shaping. Clear? He will perform what? Traffic shaping. That is what he's going to do. Okay. Traffic shaping is an optional configuration. So if you want to shape the traffic, it will do it. Else, if you have not configured it, it will simply skip this step. Now, what is traffic shaping and all? We will have a separate class for it. Okay. Now, after the traffic shaping, it will finally decide to send the packet out. Meaning, since the interface, what has been used to send the packet out, hence I'm calling this interface as egress. Clear? Clear with the flow of the packet inside the firewall? Guys? Okay, I will take that as yes. Now, see here. Let me remove this first. I will just take 5 more minutes. Can I? That we will wrap up the architecture topic. I'll just take 5 more minutes. Okay. Now let me come back to the firewall structure. Now, since we know the life of packet, right? So this is what I was saying, that when the firewall will receive the packet, he will perform integrity check, captive authentication, then DNAT, then RPF and routing lookup, then policy lookup, then NGFW actions, then SNAT traffic shaping, and then finally he will decide to send the packet out. Right? Now I have a simple question here. let's say you guys are from the sales team. Okay, you are trying to sell your product, firewall product. Okay, FortiGate. So you are telling that my firewall is best in the market, and if you buy my product and deploy it into the network, you will be secured as best as you can, and blah blah blah. You are talking all highs about your product, right? And I am your customer. So I have a simple question for your product. Simple question. That okay, I accept all your pointers. Okay. But tell me one thing. Currently, I am having a router in my network, right? Currently, I am using router. So you are saying me that remove the router and place the firewall, your device, right? Okay. Now, please note, I am a business who is running on the finances. Meaning I am, let's say I am a banking business, or I am someone who deals in the stock. Okay. Like Deloitte. Okay. Or like Moody's. Okay. So these are the giants companies who deals in finances, businesses. Okay. Financial. Now, what happened is, what I'm saying is that let's say the major function that the router will do is integrity check. Integrity, right? Integrity check he will do, and he will do the natting. Okay, he will do the NAT action. He will do the policy match. Correct? Major action, what he will do. The router is doing all these things. Okay. So presuming that, just for the sake of argument, okay, I'm saying that each process is taking 1 millisecond. Each process took 1 millisecond. So total, how much time does the router took to send out the packet? 3 milliseconds, right? Each process one. Now, on the other hand, you are saying that if I put your firewall in my topology, right? I am putting your product firewall. So you're saying that when you will send the packet, it will check everything, right? So what is the basic function that your firewall will do? The main functions. Okay. He will also perform the integrity. He will also perform the natting. He will also perform the policy. But since it's a firewall, he will also perform what? NGFW action, that is inspection. He will also perform all the UTM features actions. Okay. Right? Because it's a firewall. These are the additional unique thing that makes the firewall unique as compared to a router. Because if you remove this feature, then there is no difference in router and the firewall. It's the same. What the firewall can do, router can also do. What only NGF and UTM action is something which the router cannot do. Okay. So this is what the firewall is doing. Fine. So if I still assume at best each process is taking 1 millisecond. So how much time did your firewall do? 5 milliseconds to process the traffic and send it out, right? Correct, na? So my question is, are you selling me your product, or are you giving me the sense of security at the cost of latency? What happened if I buy your product? You are adding 2 milliseconds in my network latency. Yes or no? And man, I run on stocks. My business is done, right? Why I will buy your device? Where you are going to give me a slowness? Makes sense what I'm saying? Guys, did you get my question?
Repeat,
Ye-
repeat.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Repeat, sir, once. Repeat, sir, one.
The router is taking 3 milliseconds to process and send the packet out,
Correct.
whereas firewall is taking 5 milliseconds. So that means if anyone will use my firewall in their network, there will be additional 2 milliseconds of slowness,
Correct, correct.
right? So why I will buy your product? Got it?
Got it.
So to answer this, please note, your FortiGate firewall follows triple P model. It is a triple P model structure. Triple P means parallel packet processing. Okay. Your firewall follows triple P structure. Parallel packet processing means what? See, it means that when the firewall will receive a packet, okay, he will actually duplicate that packet. Okay, and he will send it to the different processes.
Sir, the number of process, number of duplicate packet is correct, sir?
No, it will only duplicate the packet. That means double.
Only double. Okay, sir.
Only double. And he will send one packet to a process and the other packet to a different process. Now, when I'm saying process, that means who is taking care of the process. So please note, now here the CPU will come into picture. See, actually what happened is the major difference between your router and the firewall is these two processes, right? Okay. So what happens now? Let me tell you exactly.
सर मतलब ये सही सुटेबल है सर, नंबर ऑफ प्रोसेस, नंबर ऑफ पैकेट डुप्लीकेट कर देंगे तो 1 मिलीसेकंड में निकल जाएगा सर फिर तो।
नहीं देखो, मैं आपको आप ये मतलब दिखा रहा हूँ उसके बारे में, ठीक है? देखो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ। All these processes are handled by whom? CPU, na? Right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So please note, there are, when we talk about the CPU, okay, there are two things. One is main CPU, another one is hardware CPU. Hardware CPU is also called ASIC. Clear? So when we say now that these, it's like when the firewall receives a packet, he is processing with all these processes, right? So who is doing this? Your main CPU. Your main CPU is responsible to process the packet. Clear? Clear? Hardware CPU is not. Okay. Now your main CPU has two components. One is NP processor, other one is called CP processor. NP means network processor. And CP means content processor. So when I said now that when the firewall is receiving a packet, the firewall will duplicate the packet and he will then send it to the firewall, right? So the first packet will be sent to NP processor and the duplicate packet will be sent to CP processor. Clear? Now please note, your NP processor is responsible to perform these actions. See, these actions are something which your router also does. Yes or no? Correct. But your actual firewall action is taken care by the CP processor. So make sense now? When I say duplicate of the packet has been sent, triple P model. Clear? Clear? Okay. Give me yes or no, or I'm not getting any idea whether you guys are following me or not.
Sorry, sir, I am not there in the session. The thing is, the CPU is having the two processors, huh?
Yes, main
can
CPU
say.
has two processors. There are two components of main CPU. Okay.
Okay.
So those two components are what? NP and CP.
Okay.
So each
Within the CPU itself, there are two processors. Okay,
yes,
fine.
within the CPU.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay.
So one packet will be sent to the NP and the duplicate of that packet will be sent to the CP, so that they both can take action on the same time. Clear?
Okay.
So we do not have to wait that, okay, when these things will be processed, then I will get the verdict, right? That's why it took 5 milliseconds now. But here what happened is one packet was sent to this processor and other one was sent to this. So how much time he took now? He also gave the verdict in the same time. So there was no latency. Got it? There is no latency. So in the same 3 milliseconds, what the router did, firewall did more action. And he also gave that, okay, the packet has to be sent out or not. Clear? So there is no latency. So now I'm selling my product saying that what your router is giving, I am also giving you, but at the addition of security. I will also secure your network in the same time without any slowness. Now everyone will look to buy my product, right? Clear? So please note, there is one more thing here. Do you think now let me give an example. Since I've told you that triple P model, whenever there is a packet, it will duplicate it and it will send it to the main CPU, right? One to the NP and one to the CP. Now tell me, if I'm accessing a YouTube and I'm watching a 5-minute video clip, what will happen in that 5-minute video clip? Thousands of packet will be exchanged, now, right? Correct? And if every packet is getting duplicated, that means firewall will be processing 2000 packet, just the double of it. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Don't you think the CPU is overloaded? Because if the firewall is receiving a million packet, you are simply doubling it. So now the firewall has to process 2 million packet. So your CPU will always be high, na? Right? So please note, in order to overcome that, or in order to load share, what happens is your main CPU is actually responsible to process first packet only. All these actions are done by the main CPU, yes, but your main CPU is processing only first packet. What happens is when it processes the first packet, the main CPU, okay, it will create a session. What it will do? It will create session by processing what? First packet. Clear? And this session will be offloaded. Offloaded. That means handed off. To whom? To whom? To the hardware CPU. Got it? It will move to hardware CPU. That now you take care. I have processed all the thing. I have written what you have to do with such a traffic. Okay, whenever you see a packet with this source IP, destination IP, source port, and destination port, send the packet out via WAN. When you see the packet in such a way, then you send the packet out via port 1. Okay, so I've written all the things. Session entry. That is called session. Whatever your main CPU did now here, this all is recorded. And that record is called session. Okay. And that session is handed off to whom? To the hardware CPU. So that hardware CPU will now take care. So your main CPU is never occupied. It is always free to handle new traffic. Clear? Clear?
The hardware CPU is called ASIC. Then hardware CPU is nothing but a normal processor, right?
It is not a normal processor, but yes, it's a CPU which is inbuilt into your hardware. Okay. It is also a very, very powerful CPU component, but we call it a hardware CPU because it has only to do what the main CPU has told him to do. That means main CPU will process the first packet and he will note it down. He will create a session, and he will pass on that session to the hardware.
Sir, can you do one thing, sir? Can you share the images of it, like how hardware CPU looks like, how main CPU look like? You have any images in the internet, so that I will be very clear on that.
See, you don't have to focus on these components, man. Okay, these are inside the device. Okay, main CPU is, see, NP and CPs are also a component. Like,
Yeah.
if I get it, FortiGate hardware design.
Oh, it's nice. Okay. Okay.
Let me see if it carries that. Okay, do you see this? Okay, so like I will also those designs are patent designs. Okay, you will not be able to find the proper structure of that. But this is how you, it's like the block diagrams, right? The CP processors. Do you see the CPU has NP processor and CP processor, right? Okay, CP and NP. Okay, so it's like there is a chip. Okay, so there is a component of a main CPU where you have CP and NP, and there is a hardware CPU also. Clear? So that's how it is. Clear?
Repeat. What is that is a means complete CPU box is.
This is a complete CPU.
Okay.
There is a complete CPU.
Complete
Okay.
processor.
And where you will have one software CPU. Oh, that is your main CPU, which has a content processor and the NP processor.
Okay.
And there is a hardware CPU. But this
Okay.
overall is called SPU or the CPU. Clear?
Okay. So the processor is subdivided into software and hardware CPU. In software CPU itself, you are having the network processor and content processor.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, and
Okay.
they are the
The whole
ones
thing
who
is
will
called
response.
SPU.
Yes, and they are the ones who will always process the first packet only. And they will create the session and they will hand off the session to hardware CPU. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And please note, this is something which is just good to know fact. Okay. No one is going to ask you this thing. Okay. Neither in the.
Nobody will ask, but I have.
Yes,
I need to know that.
but you should know
Yes,
it.
sir.
Okay. Because knowing this will help you to, like I said, when I will read the debugs and all, this will make sense to you. Okay, that okay, what happened? What is the first packet processing? And like then how the other packets are getting processed. I will show you all that in the detail.
सर सेशंस whatever they make the sessions मीन्स 1 मिनट का सेशंस के बाद वापिस अगला पैकेट वापिस नेटवर्क और कंटेंट के पास जाएगा सर फिर से।
नहीं, एक बार देखो क्या होता है ना, जैसे मान लो तुमने YouTube एक्सेस किया, ठीक है?
हाँ।
तो जो पहला पैकेट गया ना, पहला पैकेट तो जाएगा ना भाई, जो भी तुम
नहीं वो पहला पैकेट का तो आपने क्लियर हो गया कंसेप्ट। जो
हाँ।
सेशन जो आप सेशन बता रहे हैं वो सेशन कितनी देर का बनेगा? जो मेरा टोटल वीडियो लेंथ रहेगा उतने का बनेगा कि 5 मिनट का 1-1 मिनट का सेशन बनाएगा?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है। टीसीपी सेशन बनता है फॉर 30 मिनट्स। ओके, और वो हमेशा रिफ्रेश होते रहेगा जब तक उसको पैकेट हिट करेगा। सेशन तुम्हारा फिर से 30 होते जाएगा।
30 मिनट्स का कि सर वो 30 पैकेट्स कैसे सर? सॉरी फॉर दैट।
30 मिनट्स,
ओके सॉरी सर, थैंक यू।
ठीक है, और वो हमेशा रिन्यू होता है। बट सेशन का लॉजिक क्या है, वो कैसे मेंटेन होता है, दैट इज समथिंग व्हिच आई विल शो यू व्हेन आई विल टच द लॉगिंग पार्ट।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक्स अ लॉट।
मैं आपको और सब मतलब डिटेलिंग बताऊंगा। ओके,
थैंक यू सर।
So like question what he asked is that how is this session maintained? It is like only for few minutes or it is for few like packets? How does the session is maintained? Okay, so what the answer I have like given to him is that the session will be maintained for a specific time frame, and that time frame will keep on till the packet is hitting that a specific session. Okay, and I will show you all the details of sessions in the logging section. Okay, so we are not yet reached to that point. So when I will touch the debug and the logging point, there I will talk in more depth about the session. Okay, so for that point, till hold your question for the session. Okay, clear? We have just started, man. Okay, so do not worry. I will touch everything. Okay. Fine.
Fine, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the main thing you have to always keep in mind is this. Very important. Let's say someone asks you to configure a policy to allow some traffic. So what is the minimum configuration you need? You need routing lookup and policy, because rest all are optional, right? But you need to configure a route as well as a policy. Then you can allow any traffic, right? See how easy it is for me to know what I have to do in order to achieve any requirement. If someone is saying, hey, I'm not able to reach somewhere, the firewall is dropping the traffic and all, I know where I have to start looking at it. Okay, I know what my firewall is doing. So I will check onto all those parts. And how I will check into it, we will discuss that when I will touch the debug part and all. Okay. So that's all for the day. Thank you all for your time. We will catch up tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Sir,
you,
I
sir.
have one more doubt
Yes,
personally. Sir, what is meant by backhauling? So, I heard the term many times. I heard the terms called backhaul.
Backhaul is a concept used in the routing in order to dump all the traffic. See what happens now. There are certain traffic which I want to not to be sent anywhere. Okay. So if a traffic is coming and if I send that to, like, let's say out from my WAN 1 or port 2 or port 3, then what will happen is those packets will be in my wire, right? So maybe during what happens now during a certain flood situation or something, okay, you create a black hole, saying that if a certain interface is down, automatically the black hole will come into effect. Why? Because all those traffics will now be sent into the black hole. Black hole means nowhere. Black hole means nowhere. So I am simply sending the packet out, but it is going nowhere. So it is all dropped. Okay.
Okay.
So that's called black holing concept.
Oh.
Okay.
Can you explain it while I will ask you while routing concepts? Fine. There is
Talk about those routings and all, na, there I will tell you. Okay.
yeah.
And remind me of this question there. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Fine. देखो, the point is ना, जैसे मैं जा रहा हूँ ना firewall में, just follow my lead, okay? Because if I start giving you more information ना, you will be more confused. आपको लगेगा कि क्या-क्या बोल रहा है भाई ये बंदा, कुछ नहीं आता समझ में, ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
तो इसलिए क्या है ना कि धीरे-धीरे हम लोग चलेंगे आगे. We will move slowly, okay? One step at a time, and then everything will start making sense to you, okay?
Okay, sir.
ठीक है? So just follow my lead. Fine then. See you all then tomorrow, 9 a.m.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day, sir.
Good
Okay.
day.